What's up, guys? Welcome to Jiu Jitsu chokes for self-defense. Before we get into any of the actual technique, let's talk a little bit about what self-defense means. This is not for any kind of situation where we're in a voluntary fight where we're exchanging strikes or anything like that. If, let's say, he has a knife and pulls a knife on me, shoot him, right? This is not for any of that kind of stuff. We're talking about situations where we are maybe trapped in a car, maybe we're trapped under someone, and we want to take the knowledge we already have and have learned in class and then apply it to defending from an attacker that we can't just run away from. So let's get to the chokes. All right, guys, our 4 chokes we're gonna do are the cross choke, the baseball, the loop, and the Ezekiel choke. When we do any of these chokes, let's talk a little bit about the mechanics of the choke. I want our hands to be connected nice and sturdy, about this far apart, right? Pretty close, almost like you can touch your thumb. They don't have to be too close together, but I really don't want them too far apart, whether I'm doing cross choke, loop, baseball, or anything. Let's look at this lanyard that we'll be using to choke. One of my hands can be grabbing it, or it's wrapped around, don't worry too much about that. I want about that much space when I do it though, right? For any of these chokes, right? Let's say I'm doing a cross choke. I want to have just about that much space so that way the blades of my wrist are what actually does the choke there. Or if I'm doing the baseball, right? I want my hands to be pretty close together so that way it's the blades of my wrist that's actually doing the choke. So if we go to our cross choke, I want to make sure that the blade of my wrist is nice and tight to his neck and the blade of my other wrist is nice and tight to his neck. Okay, so if we are going to use our partner's clothing, their gi, or in this case, maybe like a t-shirt or a jacket, I can either reach inside their jacket, cross over to the other side, grab really close together, and put the other blade of my wrist on the neck, pull and get our squeeze. If he's wearing a t-shirt, I'm not gonna be able to just grab the shirt there, it'll probably tear, but you can wad up your attacker's t-shirt, grab that rope you've made, grab the other side of it, and still finish our choke there. Okay, so our first one is gonna be our cross choke. Nice and deep behind the neck, grab the other side, get our tap. Okay, we can also uncross our arms and do the baseball choke, okay? In a closed guard situation, this might not be great, but let's say he's passing my guard, or maybe he's, knocked me down, I can grab the back of his clothing, turn, and get our choke. Same thing, I want to use the blades of my wrist to get our choke here, okay? We can now turn this into the Ezekiel choke. This time, we're not going to be using his gi, I'm going to be using my own sleeve, or later, my wristband, or a lanyard, or a seatbelt. I'm tucking my fingers in his gi. Now this time, instead of trying to chop side to side, our arms are going to be more top and bottom here, okay? So I get inside my sleeve, I want to actually put this behind his neck, and I'm going to bring my fingers across the front of his neck. Okay, I'm extending my arms and pushing my fist right into the side of his neck. Okay, let's say he's trying to maybe choke me here, right? If I get his hands to the ground, I grab inside my own sleeve, pass it across in front of his neck. Notice my sleeve is on one side of his neck choking him, and my wrist is on the other side. Extend to get our tap there, Ezekiel choke. Last one is going to be our loop choke. This time I'm getting a cross grip on his gi. I'm going to put my hand behind his head and think of it like a guillotine. I'm trying to pass his head into my other armpit. So I'm pulling this across his neck, passing his head into my armpit, and I'm just taking this hand, chopping it across the back of his neck, under my arm, extending to get our tap there. This also works great in half guard, right? I can pull this across, pass his head under the choking arm, extend my arms to get the tap there. 4 chokes using their clothing. Okay, so when I was a white belt, I really loved the Ezekiel choke. The problem in no-gi, we can't really do a no-gi Ezekiel choke. Yes, there is the literal no-gi Ezekiel choke, but I bet your mom could no-gi Ezekiel choke me, but I bet she could no-gi Ezekiel choke me with one of these. So I kind of made this wristband you can use to actually choke people, which is probably how you got to this video in the first place. Let's talk about doing those 4 chokes with our wristband, right? When we wear it, I want the button on top with it pulling towards me, wrapping around away from me. That way I always know where the button is. With my eyes closed, I can find it using my pinky and my ring finger to unbutton it, passing it to this V so I have a really strong grip, so I can pass it behind his neck. And hey, look, we're in the same position as this cross choke, right? Just as if I was grabbing material behind his gi, I'm just grabbing onto my own wristband, right? Doesn't need to be that close together, and we really don't want it that far apart, so it's the perfect space, right? For a cross choke, I would have this. I would pass the material behind his neck. Don't even need to grab with this hand because it's tied to my wrist. And I'm just gonna cross my elbows there. If I want to do that with a lanyard, look, I have a keychain lanyard. It's the same thing. If I just grab onto the lanyard, pass it behind his neck, I can do a very mean cross choke there. Okay, now the whole point of this in the first place was the Ezekiel choke. All right, I grab on, I unbutton it, I'm already behind his neck, I pass it across in front. The material is on one side, my fist is on the other side. I can push it out to choke it. I can also take that same grip, put it behind his neck, cross from the other side, and we have our baseball choke here, right? Very easy for me to just bring it behind the neck and choke it. Okay, fourth is gonna be our loop choke. Just like a guillotine choke, I'm gonna preemptively get my grip. I'm gonna pass the material to his neck, grabbing the back of his neck, and I'm just passing his head under my arm. My wrist goes to his neck. Nice easy push and chop to get our loop choke. Now, none of these I want you to do or even think about doing from the feet, right? If we're on the feet, just run away, right? If I'm cornered or something, kick him in the nuts and run away. This is, we can't escape. We are on the ground. So let's think about how to do these on the ground. Right? Whether I have my lanyard or not, maybe he's going past the side control, and I bring it behind his neck, and we run to get our choke. Maybe he's on the other side, I bring it behind his neck, and I get my cross choke. Of course, same thing we can do with our wristband. Bring it behind the neck, cross choke. Right? If he's inside my legs and he's trying to choke me, pull him down. I get my wristband, I bring it across the neck, push and choke. Right? That's why we want to make sure that we have it buttoned on our wrist. So again, I don't even need to see. I pull him in, I get my grip, pass it across, push and choke. The more he pushes to try to get away from me, the tighter the choke gets. Last one is going to be our loop choke. Pass it across, super nice choke there. Again, we can do that from maybe half guard, maybe side control. He's passing, I get it, I pass it across his neck, extend to get our choke there. Let's talk a little bit about how to safely and effectively practice these chokes with a training partner. So if we ever need to actually do it, we're not thinking about, oh, how do I do that again? I'm going to spring it on Mason right now. I didn't tell him this is new to him. He's gonna be the one choking me. Here you go, put that on your wrist. Boom, he's already got his choking implement. All he's gonna have to do is grab with his other hand, and now we're gonna be able to do all these. I would say let's even go a little bit closer together. Perfect. Almost like a fist together. Exactly. Okay, now, boom, I punched him, and he's on the ground, right? Let's try from one side. I'm in side control. He's just gonna bring that behind my neck, right? And then now, how would you choke me there? Oh, excellent, I like that, that's cool. Let's do it again. That was like our Ezekiel choke. Let's do it again. How about we turn and we have our baseball choke. Right now, go ahead and do it again. Notice I'm not really being choked here, okay? So let's back it up a little bit, and I want you grabbing closer together. Let's see if we can, see how much space there was. Try to always have like that much, right? I want you thinking about having your thumb able to touch there. Perfect, now try that baseball again. We're gonna go here, now we turn away. We can actually get our choke. Perfect. I'm going to go on the other side now. Keep it on that wrist. Let's come on over here a little bit. Yep, you put it back down. And I'm going to be on the other side. You're going to do the same thing. Right? See what we can do for a choke from here. He's going to put it behind my neck. Right? And then turn. Yeah. And pinch your elbow. See. Yeah. I like that too. That's great. Yep. And now. Whoa. So it's not really choking me. So let's back it up a little bit. Grab a little bit deeper there. Perfect. Oh yeah, excellent. How about inside the legs now? Now this is where, let's think mostly Ezekiel, okay? This is a situation where I'm trying to attack him, right? Maybe I'm trying to choke him, maybe I'm trying to get close to him. He's just gonna bring that behind my neck. He's gonna extend it out, and we can get our choke there. Perfect, get a partner. Play with it nice and easy. As the top player, make sure you're moving appropriately. Make sure you're not just immediately tapping the second they get any pressure on there. Give it a second, right? Let your partner work. Let your partner kind of feel if they actually have it or not. Last but not least, how about a seatbelt? Maybe I'm trapped in a car, date gone horribly wrong, I guess, and I'm being assaulted, right? Fortunately for me, bad for him, I have some material I can choke him with right here. So the goal is going to be trying to pull this behind their neck. So if he's nice and close to me, we're getting a little friendly. I want to grab my grip, take it out, and pull it behind the neck, right? I'm trying to take whatever material I can and make a hook behind his neck, okay? My far side arm is already going to be pretty much in position, so I'm just going to have to make sure getting my near side arm across his neck so we can get either our baseball choke here, or if when I pulled it out it happened to go the other way, right, whichever way it was, I don't even remember. I'm just trying to get it behind his neck, right? My other arm is already in position, so that way I can push on the near side, right? This would be our cross choke. If it were to go the other way with my hands, that is going to be our baseball choke. So just get whatever you can, whether it's, you know, your wristband, a lanyard, his shirt, some material, bring it behind their neck, cross those arms, and get your choke. And here's how to choke someone out while they're driving. I'm reaching across their neck, getting their seatbelt, cross choke, and I can kill us both.